Hello, and welcome to Gus McDowell's Strategy and Tactics, and thank you to our subscribers. In this series, we use the missions in the game Firefight to illustrate one or more aspects of World War II infantry tactics at the company level and below. In this campaign, we are playing through the Battle of France as the French, with 8 battles over the course of May and June 1940. Everyone knows about the historical outcome, a French operational and strategic defeat at the hands of the Germans. But I want to see if the French, using historical weapons, tactics, and doctrine, can defeat the Germans at the tactical level. In this episode, Now or Never at Bléneau Railway Station, with the French army rapidly collapsing, lead your units in a last-ditched attempt to turn the tide of the war. Cutting the railway lines at Bléneau will prevent the enemy from being able to transport vital reserves to our most threatened front. Capture and hold the railway station and fight off any counterattacks. Each episode we conduct basic mission analysis, develop and analyse possible courses of action, then decide and execute the plan in real time, followed by lessons learned. Please remember to like the video and subscribe for more great strategy and tactics content. And if you want to buy me a coffee, the links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. In the last episode, we commenced Now or Never at Bléneau Railway Station. If you haven't seen that episode, be sure to check it out so this episode will make a lot more sense. In that episode, we examined the terrain and likely enemy positions and considered alternative courses of action. We decided on a plan that combines bataille conduite with a coup de main. The infantry will conduct a bataille conduite to clear the town, moving to the east-west road as the intermediate objective, then pushing towards the railway station as the primary objective. They will have first priority on any mortars or artillery. The tanks will conduct a coup de main, clearing Bear Ridge, then seizing the railway station. This will confuse and disorient the Germans just as the infantry attack from the south. In the last episode, French tanks swept around to the east to take their intermediate objective on Bear Ridge. They then conducted a coup de main to seize Bléneau Railway Station and destroyed an anti-tank gun. The French infantry advanced to the intermediate objective on the east-west road and located a second anti-tank gun. Both sides conducted mortar and artillery fire missions. Now, the French must destroy the anti-tank gun, then assault forward from the intermediate objective and clear Germans from Bléneau and secure the railway station. The French mortar is conducting a third fire mission against the German anti-tank gun. Hit! The French mortar scores a direct hit, destroying the 5cm Pak 38 anti-tank gun. This opens up the whole front line. Dio moves up on the left. Coulon crosses the road to the houses opposite. Lefranc crosses the road. Barreau moves up to the intersection. Last episode, a German mortar was firing from the paved area southwest of the railway station.
Open fire!
The French mortar opens a counter-battery fire mission. The Panhard positions itself to provide direct fire and cover for the advancing French infantry. The Char B1 bis on Bear Ridge adjusts position. German infantry in the centre appear to be withdrawing. Dio's section moves forward. The Hotchkiss advances to put more pressure on the Germans. The mortar fire mission suppresses but does not destroy the German mortar. The French mortar now opens fire on the German outpost on the French right flank. The Germans are mostly compressed between the infantry advancing from the south and the armour to their rear at the railway station. Becker now advances on the right flank. With mortar and tank support and covering fire from Barrot's section, he will roll up the German position on the French right flank. Dio's section now crosses the road. French armour continues to suppress the Germans in the centre. The French mortar fires for effect. The mortar works its way along the row of houses.
Open fire!
The Char B1 bis repositions on Bear Ridge. The Panhard advances. It continues to fire to keep the Germans suppressed as the French infantry advance. French mortar rounds slam into the centre of the row of buildings. The mortar continues to work its way along the row of buildings.
Open fire!
The Hotchkiss now moves up to overrun the suspected enemy mortar position. The Char B1 bis moves in close to suppress the Germans. Lefranc's men now advance in the centre. The Hotchkiss locates and fires on the enemy mortar. Becker's section now advances under cover of mortar fire and the intimidating presence of the French tank. The French tank repositions to provide flanking fire on the German position. The assault goes in.
Get down!
Contact. Soldat Boards is severely wounded by a bullet in the chest, the first French casualty in the battle. But the Germans surrender. Barreau's section fires on the remaining holdout. Boards gets first aid. The French troops rush the building. The last German surrenders. The French now tighten the noose. The Hotchkiss advances. Dio's men step off to a firing line on the left, overlooking the railway station. The last German holdout gives up. Wise choice. Coulon and Lefranc's sections advance in the centre. Barreau's section leapfrogs Becker and moves in single file down the right-hand side of the street. Dejected, the German infantry moved to the rear, hands above their heads. Coulon and Lefranc now form a solid line of French infantry for the final push on the station. The French tanks are parked outside the houses, firing at the Germans inside. Lefranc's men advance. Coulon's men push forward. And spike the German medium mortar. Meanwhile, Dio's section is firing at Germans withdrawing to the railway station. On the right flank, Becker moves to the right and supports Barrot's section as it advances through the houses. The French armour advances to form a solid line ahead of the infantry.
Open fire!
The French mortar opens a fire mission on the German position in the railway station buildings.
Open fire!
The infantry take their positions for the final push. The French mortars now use their remaining rounds on the railway station buildings.
Open fire!
German troops off to the right. The Char B1 bis moves to cover them. A machine gun nest, and they are still full of fight.
Open fire! Open fire!
A German is shot while trying to escape. Coulon's men move into position for the final assault.
Open fire!
The artillery still have some smoke rounds to throw into the fight. These will mask French movement. Germans flee the railway station and the French take the primary objective. Barrow's section is pinned down by the German section.
Open fire! Move!
Coulon and Lefranc now advance to take the railway station.
Open fire!
The final smoke rounds land around the German section holding out in the railway buildings. The smoke works, obscuring the French movement. The German machine gun is still firing at where Lefranc's men used to be. Dio's section moves up. Tragedy. A Soldat Janin from Coulon's section is killed by a bullet in the abdomen. The first French fatality. The Germans surrender, and the French recapture the objective. Coulon and Lefranc form a firing line with the tanks as Dio's men move forward to clear the last buildings. Fire from the Germans on the right has lessened.
Open fire!
But their machine gun still fires.
Open fire! Open fire!
Rather than surrender, some of the Germans attempt to flee over open ground. One by one, they are gunned down. The French infantry now control the railway station, but some Germans still lurk in the buildings across the tracks.
Open fire!
The French tanks keep up suppressing fire. Victory! Now or never. With the French army rapidly collapsing, lead your units in a last-ditched attempt to turn the tide of the war. French forces, 97 survived, 1 wounded, 1 killed, no vehicles lost. German forces, 7 survived, none wounded, 43 killed, 13 surrendered, 2 anti-tank guns lost, and the medium mortar. You took a long time to take the objective, but took negligible losses, despite there being only very light opposition. Your commanders rate your performance as average. 2 gold stars. Perhaps, but I feel the 97 French soldiers who survived the battle may have a different opinion. So, what did we learn? Well, I want to make 2 comments, one on the battle and another on the campaign. This battle demonstrated the power of 2 tactical approaches used in combination, the coup de main by the armour and the bataille conduite by the infantry and artillery. The coup de main used the speed of the armour to move rapidly around the right flank behind Bear Ridge to achieve surprise and shock action and cut off the Germans from retreat. The infantry used the slow and coordinated methodical approach of the bataille conduite, using mortars and artillery and close-in tank support to disrupt and suppress German defences before advancing to clear the ground. The results speak for themselves. 1 dead and 1 wounded on the French side, whereas the Germans lost 43 dead, 13 surrendered, 2 anti-tank guns and a mortar lost, and of course the loss of the Bléneau Railway Station to the French. This was the last of 8 battles in the Battle of France campaign in Firefight. Everyone knows about the historical outcome, a French operational and strategic defeat at the hands of the Germans. But, as you know, I've wanted to see if the French, using historical weapons, tactics and doctrine, can defeat the Germans at the tactical level. Over the course of the 8 battles, we've implemented French tactical doctrine on surprise, use of artillery, urban combat, use of tanks, use of terrain, mixed infantry tank groups, protection of tanks, and coup de main. And time and again, French weapons and doctrine have proven their worth. Hopefully, this dispels some myths about the French army of 1940. Before the Battle of France, it was considered the strongest army in the world, and for good reason. Afterwards, people saw only defeat. But in the middle were hundreds of thousands of poilus, ordinary French soldiers who fought bravely and well. But I will give the last word to the Germans. Around 178,000 German casualties in the Battle of France are compelling testimony that the French fought bravely and well at the tactical level. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and donate, and stay tuned for the next series, where we return to close combat with the Russian front.